This is end time, brothers and sisters. It is risky to base faith on what others feel or think about Jesus. Very dangerous, because they are sensitive to what God is saying per time and per season. We live in a dangerous season whereby imitation is not as business as usual. In the past, you can imitate and go scot-free, but not in these present days. In this present time, we need the gifts of a hearing ear and a seeing eyes. So in the midst of your challenges, you are to look again. This thing look like a pain. Are you sure it's really a pain? This thing that look like a sickness, are you sure it's not God preserving me? This thing that look like headache, are you sure it's not a way of Satan distracting me? Look again. Because if you cannot look deep in your situation, you will not be able to find out God's promise in that situation. Because the more you are able to look deeper into that your situation, the more clearer God will begin to reveal his plan to you. Progress, next level, victory, and stability in life depend on how much you can hear, on how much you can see. Open your eyes to see. Jesus Christ wants you to see. You must see the goodness of God. You must see the glory of God. You must see. Jesus is interested in what you see. Are you with me? So let your heart be open to see the next level of your life. I hope you understand. So literally, if we want to have a lasting success in life, or if we want to be victorious in this end time, there are two major keys that are very important. I hope you know that this is end time. In this time, brothers and sisters, if you want to be successful in life, career, ministry, or even in business, there are keys that must not depart from you. And today, God grant us the grace to talk about this. This is end time, brothers and sisters. It is risky to base faith on what others feel or think about Jesus. Very dangerous. Because my brother is good in this line does not make that line your line. Because he is progressing in one area does not make that area your own area. When God is executing his plan in our life, he designed and arranged events that are different from one another. We have different routes, but to one destination. Heaven is the destination, but we have different routes that God takes us through. Imitating me in my journey of faith without hearing clearly from God is a very risky journey. Many has failed in life today because they said, I was encouraged to do this thing. They told me, God said, you never heard yourself. In this end time, let me tell you, if you base your faith on what is told and heard, and you never heard yourself, you are on a dangerous mission. One of the things that make the children of Issachar to be a leader over Israel, they are sensitive to what God is saying per time and per season. We live in a dangerous season whereby imitation is not as business as usual. In the past, you can imitate and go scot-free, but not in these present days. In this present time, we need the gifts of a hearing ear and a seeing eyes. Hearing ears, seeing eyes, brothers and sisters, these are not a product that comes from biology. It is not a product that comes from parents to you. He that have an ear, let him hear. There are ears that hear, and there are ears that don't hear. That because you have this physical ear does not mean you can make progress. This is to hear rumor. This is to hear the sound of vehicle. This is to hear earthly things, but you cannot hear the sound or the voice of God. It is dangerous to only hear with this ear. Let me tell you, there are many business career that collapse because there is no hearing ear. There are many who die cheaply, not because it was their time to die, because they could not hear. Graves and cemeteries are filled with people who could not hear and who could not see. A hearing ear, and a seeing eye. Let us talk about the ear. We'll come back to the eyes. Hearing ear. He who had an ear, let him what? Hear. He said, while walking, you will hear from behind that this is the path. Follow the ear. What kind of ear do you have today, brothers and sisters? Do you know that progress is dependent on your ability to have a hearing ear? Oh, Abraham, in Genesis chapter 12, Abraham, take now thy only son, whom you love, and go and offer it as a what? Sacrifice. Abraham carried the child and said, let us go. Do you know that if God talked to many of us today about our only child, that can block your ear? Say, I don't want to hear that God. That God must be a wicked God. How can you tell me to bring my only child? God, you know that this is the one I waited for 25 years. No, I don't want to hear. This is devil. But Abraham have a hearing ear and obey. And let me tell you, it doesn't stop there. He obeyed the first instruction. And truly, when they get to the base of the mountain, Isaac said, Father, I see the wood, I see the fire, but where is the lamp? He said, the Lord will provide. When he got there, I want to slaughter the child. What happened? They say heaven opened and God spoke again and tell Abraham, stop! Stop! This is a sign that Abraham had a hearing ear. Some of you have had God last year and say go, but you did not hear this year what God is saying. You were able to hear what he said yesterday, but are you hearing what he's saying today? Are you aware that our great mentor, Prophet T.B. Joshua, says that in every situation, God is still saying something? Are you aware? Are you aware that constantly the Spirit is speaking expressly? But how many of you have the ability to hear? Man of God, God told me to come to Akwa Ibom 10 years ago. I accept. But what did he say today? This is August. Do you hear what God is saying in August? Or you heard what God said in 2010? And you are still living in what God said, and you are not living in what God is saying. Abraham, take your son. That is first step. Many of you have taken your first step. You have taken the bold step. You have taken the first step to that career. You have taken the first step to that relationship. You have taken the first step to that marriage. But the second instruction you fail. Isaac would have died if Abraham could not hear well. God said, but he was saying, but you could not hear what he says. Our progress in life is dependent on how fast we have a hearing ear. Let me ask you, could it be that God is talking to you and you are not listening? He told me, I saw in a vision 15 years ago that this is my husband. I saw in my vision that this is my country. Maybe God have redirected you and you've not been able to hear. The same God who told Abraham to go is the same God who tell him to what? To stop. Have you hear go and you did not hear stop? Maybe that is why that business is like that. Maybe that is why that career is like that. God said go yesterday. Today he said stop. Stop. Let me prepare you. There is challenges coming. Hold on. But you refuse. Say one way, only one way to heaven. No. God is saying something you must be able to hear. It's not just one way. Part-time and per-season. Prophet Tibusha says in every action, in every step, in every move we make, he said a suggestion must come from the Spirit that those actions should be performed. And he said when we obey the Spirit, we will not be disappointed. We are blaming God today that you told me yesterday that I should go into this marriage. You told me yesterday that I should go to US. You told me yesterday that I should go back to Abuja. Now I am there. What is happening? God said you did not hear the second instruction. You only heard the first. That I say go. But you never heard when I say stop. Tell someone, say hearing ear. Your business depends on your hearing ear. Many lost finances. Many lost in ministry. Many lost. Oh, the strategy you used yesterday, you cannot use it again. I tell you the truth. Because Satan is advancing. You must hear part-time and per-season what God is saying to you. If you tell me you hear yesterday, I accept. But have you heard today? I'm not doubting that you heard yesterday, but I am asking you, have you heard today? Because every day, God has something to say. Every day. Make no mistake about that. If you live only in your yesterday, you will be frustrated in your today. Because Satan is always after where God was. When God is here and God moved from here, Satan will come there. Satan is always looking for where God was. So if you remain in where God was, you will be in Satan's trap. That is why the business is going down. That is why your health is going down. The instruction you hear yesterday, are you hearing a new one today? Or you are still walking on the old instruction? Oh, the hearing ear is not this one. If you touch this your ear, it can only hear what this mic is saying. That is all. This physical ear has limitation, brothers and sisters. Turn with me to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 12. He said, the hearing ear and what? The seeing eyes. The Lord had what? The Lord has what? Make them both. That is, this one is not given to us by our parents. It is not found in the blood. It is not X and Z biology that come together and give us this. It said the Lord make them both. It is not in the human body. God is the giver of a hearing ear. Brothers and sisters, what are you hearing in your heart? What are you hearing in your heart? There are many people who are spiritually deaf. God has been with you shouting your name. My son and my daughter, take a step back. Take a step back. You are going in the wrong direction. Take a step back. But because of spiritual deafness, you say, I go to church. Going to church cannot save you from the consequences of spiritual deafness. You only go to church to activate your spiritual sensitivity so that you can hear. It is obedience that preserves. It is obedience that saves. It is obedience that delivers. I am a Christian. I am a Christian. I'm an elder in the church. You can die cheaply because you cannot hear. Elder, listen to me. He who has an ear, let him hear. Career woman, listen to me. I'm very talented. I went to school. I'm a beautiful woman. Listen to me, beautiful woman and man. He who had an ear, let him hear. Are you sure your ears are open? What are you hearing? Because when you hear, brothers and sisters, you will make progress. Progress is highly dependent on our ability to hear and to see. Progress in life, the evidence that a man is hearing clearly is that he will make the right choice. We are not supposed to be at this current level because we cannot hear. Spiritual deafness. A lot of Christians are spiritually deaf. Deaf to what God is doing. Can I tell you something? Let me tell you about the spiritual eyes. Pay attention to the eyes. Do you know that because you have a physical eyes does not mean you can see? Now you have an eye. Yes or no? Everyone has an eye. Do you know that if the light of this hall is off now, though your eyes is open physically, yet you will not be able to see? That is seeing physically. Sight. Physical sight, now not spiritual one. Physical sight is eyes plus light. Yes or no? If you have an eye, but there is no light, can you see? So some of us have eyes. The reason why we are not seeing is because there is no spiritual light. That is why we don't have spiritual sight. Just the same way it is physically, that you can have a physical eye here, but when the light is off or when you enter darkness, in as much as your eyes are open, because there is no light, therefore there will be no sight. So also in the realm of the spirit, you can have our eyes spiritual blind. Why? Because there is no spiritual illumination. It takes the illumination of the spirit to shine upon your eyes to make you see. Therefore it becomes a seeing eyes. If you say you have an eyes, are you seeing? Oh yes, are you seeing? Let me tell you the truth. In this kingdom, you cannot receive what you don't see. Whatever you see is what you get. Let me tell you what God told Jeremiah. In Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 11. He said, moreover, the word of the Lord. That means this one is not from a man now. It is God. God is asking Jeremiah a question. He said, Jeremiah, what do you see? Let me ask you, brothers and sisters, what do you see? This is God asking Jeremiah. And anything that is good for Jeremiah is good for you. What do you see in your career? What do you see in your situation? What do you see in your challenges? What do you see in your difficulty? What are you seeing? Jeremiah answered. He said, and I said, I see a branch of what? I see a what? An almond tree. Then listen to what God says now. Then the Lord said to me, you have what? You have what? That is, you can see wrongly. Many of you are seeing wrongly. That is why you receive a wrong result. You have seen correctly. Now the reward of seeing correctly. Listen to this. Then the Lord said to me, you have seen what? For I am ready to do what? Let me tell you, God never do what you don't see. I am ready to perform that which you have seen. I know you are in problem. I know you have pain. But in the midst of the pain, what do you see? In the midst of the agony, what do you see? In the midst of this trying situation, man of God, everything is not working. In the midst of it, what do you see? God is asking you, because he will not do for you what you did not see. He will only do for you what you see. What are you seeing? What are you seeing in your health, in your career, in your destiny? Oh, you can be in one room, but let me tell you, see clearly. You can be in your village. You don't need to be in a good location to go and see where. You don't need to climb a tree to see correctly. No. You can see your future even in the midst of your pain. Seeing has to do with the heart, not just the eyes. I see a bright future for myself. I see my members and partners. I see them moving forward and forward. I see that no shame come before them. Quarter to shame, my God, come out for them. This is what I see for them. I see you stepping in here and receiving your healing. This is what I see. I see you receiving your blessing. I see you receiving your deliverance. I see roadmap to Jesus moving from glory to glory. This is what I see. What do you see about yourself? What do you see? God is asking, what do you see? What are you seeing? Do you know what is called glorious light? A light that is so bright that cannot be hindered, that cannot be covered. What do you see? It matters a lot what you are seeing in your problem. Not what the situation look like. I hope you understand. The situation can look bad, but you can see good. This is what Paul saw. Paul has a clear sight. He said, all things work together. All things. That hardship, poverty, rejection, he said they work together, because I can see that every challenge is a blessing in disguise. If you see clearly, every pain, if you look where, there is blessing in it. Difficulty. Why is this storm like this? Let me tell you, don't be the first to complain in every challenges. When you see someone easily complaining in challenges, the sign is that he does not see well. Because if you can see, you will know that all things, including your ugly situation, they work together for those that can see clearly in the realm of the spirits. Christians don't lose battle if we see clearly. We don't. What do you see? What do you see? When you leave here now, what do you think will happen to you? I see a glorious light for people here today. I see people regaining their spiritual eyes back. I see people ear opening. Genesis chapter 13 and verse 14. And the Lord said to Abraham, after Lot has what? Separated from him. Lift up your what? Now, and look from the place where you are. Don't move forward. Where you are. From that local village, look. From that little house, look. From that small car, look. From that small business, look. From where you are, many of you are looking for a better location. It's Abraham, there is no better location. From where you are, it's a look. Have a deeper insight about it. Because what I'm about to show you now, anything you see will be yours. From the place where you are. Look from the place where you are. Not what? southward, eastward, and westward. Verse 15 now. For all the land which you what? Hold on. Which you what? Which you what? Which you see. The first thing is the one you see. Anything you don't see can never be yours. Let us read it again. It says, for all the land which you what? See, I give you and your what? Forever. From where you are, brothers and sisters, look. Develop the ability to see your glory even in your mess. Oh, man of God, I know that I don't have anything that looks like a great man now. I know I'm not destined to be small. I see a better future for myself. I see my name going from one nation to one nation. I see that this sickness will not kill me. I see that this poverty is not my portion. They are only here to train me for a certain period. I see that these my challenges will come to an end. I see it. It's what I see. I don't know what you saw. But he said, whatever you saw, he said, I will give you and give your children forever. Whatever you are seeing, let me tell you, you can be a man of God that don't see. You can be a minister of God that don't hear. It is possible to be a bishop by calling, but the ears are deaf. This hearing ear and seeing eyes, they are not an office because you are a pastor, because you are a bishop. No, they don't come like that. They come because you are pressed. You have been able to dig deep in the things of the Spirit. As long as you remain on the surface, you will not have this hearing ear and the seeing eyes. Because you are a Christian does not mean that your eyes will be open. You must press. You must press. You must press. It takes pressing to see. The disciple of Jesus in the book of John chapter 20 from verse 1. After the third day, it was time for Jesus to resurrect. He said, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb. And when he got to the tomb, he realized that the stone has been rolled away. She looked. He said, there is nothing there. He said, who carried Jesus? He called the disciples that were trained. These are trained apostles, but they don't have a seeing eyes yet. They came and looked around. They said, Jesus is not here. It's not here. But that woman, the woman stayed. And the Bible says she sat outside and she looked again. She looked deeper. Stayed here and look again. So in the midst of your challenges, you are to look again. This thing look like a pain. Are you sure it's really a pain? This thing that look like a sickness, are you sure it's not God preserving me? This thing that look like headache, are you sure it's not a way of Satan distracting me? Look again. Because if you cannot look deep in your situation, you will not be able to find out God's promise in that situation. Immature disciple came. They just look and say, oh, it's not here. Let's go. It's not here. Let's go and find him. Let's go and call police. Somebody has stole the body of Christ. A woman stood there. The Bible says she looked and look again. At the third time she looked again. The Bible says she saw. She saw. She saw. The first time she looked, there was nothing. She went back again when everybody have left the place. She looked again. This time she saw two angels. He said, it's getting clearer now. It's getting clearer now. It's getting sharper. Two angels. That is wonderful. It's a step ahead. She did not run and say, I saw two angels. Let us go and find out. Let us come. You people. She wait there. Because the more you are able to look deeper into that your situation, the more clearer God will begin to reveal his plan to you. If you are just careless, nothing is working. My brother is the one that did it. My neighbor is the one that did it. My village wench is the one that did it. Everybody that don't hate me, they are the one that did it. You will never learn. You will not grow. Learn to look deeper. Look deep and go into self-examination. Lord, what are you saying about this situation? Lord, what are you saying about these challenges? In every challenge, God is still saying something. In every pain, God is still saying something. In every situation, God reveal to me, what is your purpose? What are you saying in this problem? Instead of arguing blindly. If this man have just allowed me, I will have not been here today. If that man, if that woman have just given me a little access, she's always frowning her face, you will not be able to get it. You will not be able to get God's plan and God's purpose by complaining in the midst of your situation. This was the mistake of the disciple of Jesus. They could not look deep enough. They came and looked on the surface. They did not look at the depth, and they did not see. They went, do you know how frustrating it is to look and you did not see your master? I know they will have a very bad day that day. They will have toiled around the same way many of us are toiling around from pillar to post. I'm looking for Jesus. 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 And that same Jesus is right with you. That same miracle you are looking for is right with you. That same testimony you are looking for is right with you. That same rising and lifting you are looking for is right with you. Because you could not look that challenges that come your way was not only by chance. It was not by mistake. It was designed by God. Oh yes, it was designed by God. Prophet Joshua said, when you encounter situation, and if allowed by God, he said, don't think it strange and doubt your God. So if God is involved, why should I go through this? It is for a purpose. Oh. Look deep inward to find out the purpose. Unless you miss the lesson and you begin to wander around like the disciple who left where Jesus is and was looking for Jesus. Because they could not look. Do you see how life can be frustrating for many of us? What we are looking for is right there with us. Right there with us. But because we could not see, because we could not be patient enough to look deeper, because we cannot wait and stay with God for God to open our spiritual side. Trained apostles, trained disciples could not see because they were not patient. But a woman stayed there and looked when everybody left. He said she saw. What did she see? He saw the angel. And waited again. I said, no. Where do you people take my Lord to? As she was just saying that within herself, something said, look again. As she looked again, he said, Rabboni, great teacher. So you are here? He said, yes. And as a result, Jesus told her, don't touch me. Since you have seen me now, I will send you. Since you have seen me now, you are qualified to be in the next level. Since you have seen me now, you are qualified to be promoted. Since you have seen me now, you are qualified to be a leader. Anyone that sees is who God sent. God can never send you if you cannot see. The disciple was not the first to be sent. A woman who saw was the first to be sent. A woman who saw became the first to be sent. Oh, the disciple of Jesus saw the crucified Jesus, but they did not see the resurrected Jesus. It is possible for you to know the Jesus of yesterday. Jesus is a mighty man. I may not know the Jesus of today. If you tell me you know about the Jesus of yesterday, what about the resurrected Jesus? Jesus died, but he died for only 3 days. He did not die forever. The disciples were used to the crucified Jesus, but they could not have eyes to see the resurrected Jesus. Brothers and sisters, this is end time. You want to survive? You want to make progress? You want lifting? Let me tell you, no matter what you have, as far as this earth is concerned. The Bible says Satan is like a roaming lion looking for who to devour. He takes the hearing ear and the seeing eyes to take giant steps that will not pull you down. Giant step that will never pull you down. Waste no time. Don't waste time be running from one business that is outside of the other. What is the latest business now? Can you tell me? What is the latest career now? Can you tell me? Sharpen your ears spiritually so that you can hear. If not, one mistake can cost you 15 years backward. One mistake. One mistake. Oh, I know God told you to start. Are you sure He has not tell you to stop? I know God told you to go. Are you sure He has not tell you to come back? Are you sure He has not given another instruction and you are just whiling out in that former one? It is very dangerous. Very risky to know that God of yesterday, because they say Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and oh, let me tell you, if you know the yesterday own, you still need to know today own. Oh, as much as they are the same. Yesterday own is for yesterday's challenges. Jesus of yesterday will not solve the problem of today. You need to know the Jesus of today. And when we live today, please run after Jesus and meet Him in that tomorrow's own, so that you'll be relevant, so that you'll be useful, so that you'll be mighty, so that you will be with defense. If not, life is frustrating. Tell someone, say, a hearing ear and a seeing eyes is what we need. This is the key for this end time, brothers and sisters. If you live by imitation, you won't go far. Let me tell you, our parents try imitation. It takes them a little while, but not in our own time. This time requires these two keys to survive. And this hearing ear and a seeing eyes, they didn't burn anyone with it. Proverbs says it is the Lord that makes them both. And if you need it, you need to go deeper with God. Oh, let me tell you, instead of investing in many business, invest to hear. Instead of what? Investing in many business. Man of God, let me see. I want to have oil and gas. I want to have real estate. I want to have poultry, farming. I want to have this. Let me tell you, instead of investing in many things, invest to hear. One simple instruction with God can make you a mighty man. Abraham heard God and took his son to that mountain. And God said, I swear by my name, in blessing, I will bless you. One obedient with God can change your life. And one disobedient of not hearing clearly can bring down a mighty ministry and mighty career to the scratch. Tell someone, say, neighbor, this is advice for you. Instead of investing in many business, instead of investing in many careers, invest in hearing God. It's an advice for you. It's an advice for you. Enough of experiments. Let me try this one. 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 People know you. How many complimentary cards? 17. Are you not tired? Yesterday you were a plumber. Today you are accountant. Next tomorrow you are engineer. The other day you are a real estate company owner. Now you now name your card multi-purpose, because there is no hearing ear and there is no seeing eyes. Because of that, they become jack of all trades and master of none. That is it. Instead of living in confusion, using your life as an experiment, sit down, sharpen this ear. I have seen people, simple instruction change their life. Brothers and sisters, this ministry you are seeing is being driven by God's instruction. This is not a mental idea. No. You cannot be a stranger in a foreign land and make progress. Go and find out. If you don't hear clearly and see clearly, you are in a danger zone. Hearing clearly and seeing clearly is very important. Because when God says move, he gives you all the arsenal. He gives you all the weapon. He gives you all the security. No weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. It is only those that can hear you and that can see. Don't just read the scripture and declare it upon yourself when you don't have a hearing ear and a seeing eyes. The weapon will not come against you when you can hear. God, what makes that weapon not to come against you? As they have fashioned the weapon against you, God will say, don't go. Stay here. Don't go. Rise up. It is very important to develop these hearing eyes. Hear what the Spirit is saying to you. Many of you, God have tell you, go back. That business, there is no way they come back. But you are using stubbornness. Because what neighbor will say, if I close now, my neighbor will laugh at me. If I do this one, you are using shame to be stubborn and your life remain in shambles. No, people will laugh at me. Are you living people's script? Now your life have now become people's script instead of God's script. God said, do this. He said, what people will say. Go here, what will people say? Go back to where you were coming from. What will people say? What will people say? Have you forgot that each instruction you take with God is what brings miracle into our life? Each obedience, each step you take in obedience, it's what will bring the miracle into your life. And the last time you hear God is maybe like 4 years ago. Some of you, the last time you were able to see clearly, maybe it's 10 years ago. God brought you to this service to open your eyes of faith. God brought you here so that you can hear that I have been talking to you, my daughter, but you are not hearing. So I have to bring you to a place like this so that your ear, they can sharpen your ear. Some of you don't need a miracle. You need a hearing ear. Because if you can hear, you will be able to know what God is saying. Some of you come here and say, God bless me, bless me. If you bless a deaf man, can he make progress? Okay, give a blind man 100 million. Can he make progress? What does he know? So many of us have been looking for this money. We have been looking for this wealth. But spiritually, we are blind. How then did this thing multiply? He said, from where you are, anything you can see, I will give you. Anything you don't see cannot be your own. And spiritually, you are not seeing anything. And you are gathering physical paper. No money, paper. Hiding it in your account, thinking you have money. And suddenly, as your money is going up because you are blind spiritually, they just say, Mama has fallen sick in the village. Mama has spy. Bring that money. They say, how much? You check your account. Exact money in your account is what they need. They only left 10,000 for you. To tell you cannot see. Progress, next level, victory, and stability in life depend on how much you can hear, on how much you can see. Let me tell you, there is nothing like I've stayed long in the church. You can be very long and old in the church, and yet you will not hear and see anything unless you contend for this thing. Lord, sharpen my eyes. Lord, sharpen my ears. Let me see and let me hear your glory. I want to hear. I want to hear what the Spirit is saying. Not just miracle and miracle and miracle and miracle and miracle. The one they gave you last month, you've lost it again because you are blind spiritually. The one you received 2 months ago, every day you hear people testifying. People are being delivered, but you never ask for the gift of a seeing eyes and a hearing ear. Is this message for you? God brought you here for something. This is a spiritual hospital. God brought you here for surgery so that that ear can be open and that eyes can be open. God too is a doctor. He is the greatest doctor of all time. And when you come in with deafness, blindness, he can open your sight.